Thank you, sir. Ambassador Satish Mehta joined the Indian Foreign Service in 1983 and retired as Director General, Indian Council for Cultural Relations in September 2015. Earlier, after serving in France, Ivory Coast and Italy, he was political advisor to UN Head of the Mission in Haiti during US peacekeeping force operations in 95 and 96. He served as director in the Indian Prime Minister's office from 1997 to 99, dealing with the strategic sector, external affairs, defense, atomic energy, space, and science and technology. During July 99 to July 2002, he was political counselor in the Indian mission to the United Nations in New York, from where he went as deputy chief of the mission in Tel Aviv from 2002 to 2005. He served as India's Consul General in Toronto from 2005 to 2008 as Joint Secretary of Nepal and Bhutan Division in the Ministry of External Affairs from October 2008 until July 2011. He was an Indian ambassador in Kuwait from July 2011 until November 2013. He has represented India in many international conferences, including on disarmament. He was on the UN Secretary General's group of experts on conventional arms register and was a member of Stockholm process in bomb burning process and targeted UN sanctions. He was India's delegate to the UN General Assembly from 1997 to 2002. He acted as in variety of work, including political and disarmament, as well as economic and commercial during his career. He had an education in Jaipur and a qualified chartered accountant. He is deeply involved in philanthropic cases in an honorary director of international operations, Bhagavan Mahavir Bikalang Sahaya Samiti, as NGO, which is parent organization of the world famous artificial lamb, Jaipur Food. In the last 3 years, he organized Jaipur Food artificial limb fitment camps in 15 countries of Asia and Africa under the India for Humanity program of Ministry of External Affairs. So man of this statute, I am telling you, he has a vast of experience in regards of places, starting from research countries, Middle East, European Union, USA, and also the fast world. And with a variety of experience as the chartered accountant, and he entered into service as an IPS, he was sharing, and step by step, he has reached to that particular height. With this, I request Sri Satish Mehta to occupy this dais and start his another valuable lecture. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar and good evening to all of you. I'm truly delighted to be here. This is the first time I've come to Tripura, and sad that I'm going back tomorrow morning, but that's life. I will take it as a starter, and I'm definitely going to come back and visit this lovely state. So, Professor S.K. Sharma, Director of this venerable institute, Dr. Prasun Chakravarti, Chairman IRAA, distinguished faculty members of the Institute, and most importantly, dear students. Namaskar. It's an honor to speak to you today. Is it working? It's an honor to speak to you today as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations being organized by the National Institute of Technology, Agartala, and the Ministry of External Affairs, which I had the privilege of serving for over 3 decades. I am glad that there is interest in students of technology to understand our foreign policy, but it's not surprising. Historically, we have been engaged with the world both extensively and intensively, and our engagement was impactful and lasting. Buddhism is still a dominant religion in East Asia. The king of Thailand is also called Ram and considered by Thai people as an incarnation of Vishnu. Names in many parts of East Asia have roots in our languages, and Angkor Wat, the largest Hindu temple complex in the world, it's in Cambodia. This happened because of the power and appeal of our ideas, which resonated with others as well. Somewhere over the centuries, we lost our mojo and fell to rough times. Politically, that long spell came to an end on 15 August 1947. So here we are, dealing with a civilizational history which is many million years old, yet in the Westphalian construct of a nation state, with just an experience of 75 years of self-governance and diplomacy. It is this period I shall deal with today as we look ahead with far greater confidence and optimism about our own future and destiny than perhaps we have done any time since our independence. The world is our playing field today. Both domestically as a functional democracy and internationally as a large country and emerging power, the last 75 years have been a tumultuous period full of challenges, many achievements, some failures, some mistakes, but above all, profound lessons. After all, foreign policy is a continuum, and if we don't draw the right and dispassionate lessons from the past, we are not far from repeating the mistakes, both today and in the future. Hence the title of the lecture, Indian Foreign Policy, Looking Back to Look Ahead. Let me start with something very trite. What is the purpose of foreign policy? And this is something very important for you to understand. Because often people feel foreign policy is esoteric, made by some mandarins like me sitting in South Block, unrelated to Indian reality. To the contrary, it's deeply rooted in Indian reality. Simply put, the purpose of foreign policy is to further national interests. As a country content with its borders, as defined in our constitution, our foreign policy is, and continues to focus on 2 interlinked objectives. First, the security of our country, and second, the prosperity of our people. Security covers integrity of our borders, safety of our people from cross-border terrorism, energy security, water security, food security, and security from depredations caused by climate change, which is a very burning topic now. Promoting prosperity of our people includes access to capital, access to technology, raw materials, markets, and employment opportunities abroad. Thus, the touchstones on which we will have to measure our foreign policy successes and failures are quite clear. And it's not esoteric, as many people believe that foreign policy is esoteric. It's not. Let me start with a broad brush picture of our achievements. It's always good to start with a positive note. And we have lots of things going for us. In terms of our reach, respect we command, and resonance of our views in the Committee of Nations, we have done well. We built and burnished our credentials as a peace-loving, friendly, rule-abiding, and caring country, ever willing to help and share. During early decades post-independence, along with our size, this approach of India helped us finesse our limited resources or our light military muscle. To yield considerable influence in shaping the thinking and direction of global politics and, to some extent, economics. Some early examples of it are delegitimizing colonies. You won't remember, but your director and people of my generation would remember. Till late 50s, early 60s, most of Africa was colony of one country or another. Just to give you one example. Was delegitimizing colonies, creating a political framework through the non-aligned movement to give elbow room to a large number of non-European countries to not get trapped in the Cold War divide. Preferential treatment to developing countries in international trade, official development assistance, and so on. And India pioneered, or India pushed all of these big ideas of that time. As a people, this has served us well. Indians are accepted around the world and are perhaps the most sought after workforce. Success can be intoxicating, failure can be confidence corroding, but both can be great teachers if we draw the right conclusions. As time is limited, let me turn to some of our failures, not to lament or to criticize, but to learn and avoid making similar mistakes. For this, we need to eschew the temptation of justifying suboptimum decisions of the past on grounds of prevailing circumstances were such, oh come on, there were domestic political compulsions, or you don't understand how the external pressures were at that point of time and what have you. Perhaps all this is true. But good leadership and good policy is about taking sound decisions. Also, it is unlikely that these so-called compulsions will not loom large, even today or in the future. The fact is that they continue to do so. And you know one example, during the Ukraine conflict, initially we were told not to buy Russian oil, etc. And its impact is just one example that these pressures will continue. How we deal with them is the smartness and our confidence in ourselves. So our analysis has to lead to what should have been the right decision, unclouded by the immediate compulsions. Because if you're looking at a civilization from the state, then we have been we are among the oldest in the world. And if we have to survive and we have to thrive in the future, we will have to eschew this temptation of short-term, not very short-term pain for long-term gain. Our independence, secured mainly by a non-violent movement, lulled us into believing that violence was a natural law, which will always work, that dialogue and negotiations are fail-safe method to resolve all disputes, and that the world will weigh in on the side of the right. Nothing of this really happens. These short conclusions got exposed soon after our independence when Pakistan attacked Jammu and Kashmir in 1948. After rolling back the aggression and saving the Kashmir Valley, we stopped in our tracks and allowed Pakistan to capture and retain parts of the erstwhile kingdom of Jammu and Kashmir. Instead of reversing it fully through armed action, we went to the UN Security Council in 1948. Of course, we got no justice. We overlooked the Cold War. We overlooked that the Cold War had started. The overriding concern of the West was to contain the USSR, the erstwhile Soviet Union. Sheikh Abdullah was perceived as a communism-leaning person. Indian economic policies were influenced by socialism and the Soviet model, and we were perceived to be pro-USSR. What happened thereafter is known and needs no repetition. Over 7 decades later, the issue remains unresolved and has cost us so much blood and money. It's an albatross around our neck and a perennial pressure point on us. So, what are the lessons? A few. Don't allow a territory to be occupied. Possession 9/10 of the law. Serious countries make foreign policy decisions based on their interests and not merely on legality or a moral sense of right and wrong. Don't repose faith on others' goodwill or fairness. Instead, build convergences of interest. And most importantly, I would say, paying a small price today is far better than leaving festering wounds. Let me elaborate on this. We had the means to take over the entire Jammu and Kashmir. If we had done so, we would have had a land border with Afghanistan and the Wakhan border, access through it to Central Asia, and there would be no physical connectivity between Pakistan and China. What a heavy continuous price we are paying for a path not traveled then. Despite the setback in Jammu and Kashmir, we chose to remain innocent to the ways of the world. China, economically and technologically not even comparable to us in the 40s and 50s, saw things very differently. It focused on securing itself before enriching itself. Tibet thus fell prey to China in the 50s, even though Mao, who had led an armed revolution successfully, had said more than once that power grew from the barrel of a gun. We didn't see the lurking danger at our doorstep. We were seeing and assessing others through our tinted glasses and in the belief that they would see the right and wrong as we saw it and consider a war of futility. This was not to be. The 1962 China War, preceded by occupation of Tibet, shattered that illusion. We lost territory, we lost global esteem. After all, losers aren't great examples. And we lost our self-belief. The lessons were clear. Our help to China in its freedom struggle or other support when it was isolated didn't carry much weight. Past favors don't outweigh present interests. As I said, we were influenced more by our immediate experiences of the independence movement. We overlooked timeless lessons of our own civilization. After all, the sermons of Gita were not given in a hermit's cottage, but on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And it was a clarion call to fight a just war. Or the fact that ours is perhaps the only civilization which, let me say it in Hindi and then I'll translate it, हम शास्त्र भी पूछते हैं और शस्त्र भी पूछते हैं. In English, it means we worship shastras, that's the scriptures and knowledge, and shastras, which is weapons and strength. Both are mutually reinforcing. Without one, the other is feeble. Post-China War, with some illusions shattered, greater realism infused our thinking and foreign policy. And there was no respite for us. Famine, economic stress, democratic polity leading to growing expectations of people compounded the challenges on the border and to our security in the 60s going into the 70s. See it like the 62 war, 71 war, 65 war, 3 wars, and a bloody battle with China in 1967 which we won, and our history never teaches us that. We were able to tide over the famines of the 60s with massive food aid from the US under PL 480, launched the Green Revolution for self-sufficiency, and fend off Pakistan's 65 attack. These restored some self-belief in our defense forces and strengthened our confidence in our abilities to handle multiple challenges simultaneously. These were reinforced when we repulsed the Chinese aggression in Nakula in 1967, inflicting on them heavy casualties. Boldness and raw courage saved the day. It's a great lesson. And soon we were tested again. Pakistan's genocide in East Pakistan led to massive influx of refugees. People who live here know it. The stretching of resources to the limit. Our actions were well thought through. We had learned. We secured political and military cover by signing the Treaty of Peace, Friendship and Cooperation with the USSR in August 1971, and we prepared well for the war that ensued. It was clinical and well executed. In the face of US threat to send its 7th Fleet into the Bay of Bengal, we remained defiant. Bangladesh was liberated. The US 7th Fleet returned. On the Western Front, we lost no ground and Pakistan was punished. Yet, despite playing a strong hand, we didn't handle these negotiations well. We fell prey to empty promises and meaningless platitudes. Reasons can be conjectured, but one thing was clear. We had to learn to drive a hard bargain to consolidate the gains of war. Another narrative was working alongside since independence. There was an understanding that technology determines outcomes for nations and can be differentiated between winners and losers. This is something of great passion to me, but today is not the time to do that. But someday, hopefully, I'll be happy to discuss this, how technology determines the fate of nations. We put much emphasis on intellectual capacity in pursuit of science, including nuclear energy and space exploration, which attracted some of our finest minds. Some of you guys represent that core of India. Force of circumstances, particularly the Chinese nuclear test in 1964, signing of NPT, that's the Non-Proliferation Treaty in 1968, and development of 1971 led to stealing of political will, and the so-called peaceful nuclear explosions were conducted in 1974. The space program too was producing outsized outcomes on the small investments. Intriguingly, our scientific capacities were not harnessed for self-sufficiency in arms and armaments. It's been an abiding mystery for me. Indian private enterprises were, strangely, not allowed, even though we had no compunctions in sourcing from foreign private companies our requirements of arms and ammunition. Public sector fell very short. In war and in quest for strategic autonomy, this was a severe handicap for us. This is what we are now trying to change. And wait and watch after 15 years, with the help of some of you bright kids here, you'll find India will be a very, very different country in terms of its ability to defend itself without foreign support. Just 15 years. So much is happening which you don't see on the surface. But just 15 years, and you guys will look back and say, well, we did back to China. We were becoming clearer about the continued threat from China. Lest Sikkim become another Tibet, we welcome Sikkim's integration into India, deepening defenses in the strategic Chumbi Valley, which abuts the very narrow Siliguri corridor, the jugular vein of India, India's northeast. And you guys sit here, so you must know. Access to weapons of mass destruction could be a great leveler power. So, the great powers, notwithstanding the Cold War divide, worked in tandem to prevent others from accessing WMDs. So, Russians, Chinese, and the Western world all came together. They were at each other's throats otherwise. But they came all together to deny everybody else these weapons. Unlike nuclear weapons, which required large industrial infrastructure, biological and chemical weapons did not. So the latter two were universally prohibited through Biological Weapons Convention in 1975 and Chemical Weapons Convention in 1997. And to retain monopoly over nuclear weapons, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty was crafted, and only countries which tested nuclear weapons until 1968 were treated as nuclear weapon states. increasing pressure was brought on India to sign it, and threats were held out if it did not fall in line. This became more relentless after NPT's indefinite extension in 1995. Additional pressure was mounted to sign the CTBT, what we call the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. To cut through all this, at least from Prime Minister Narasimha Rao onwards, every Indian Prime Minister toyed with the idea to do nuclear tests but backed off. Until Prime Minister Vajpayee took the call to cross the Rubicon. I was in the PMO those days when we did the nuclear tests. I was handling atomic energy also, so I think what I say is true. And some final statements. You see, this is something perhaps I should elaborate later, or maybe I can do it later. See, this is where leadership counts. Same objective facts. International pressure, economy going on a tailspin, etc., etc. Between 95 when Narasimha Rao lost the election, and 98 May when he did the tender, 3 years, 4 prime ministers. Nothing much had changed in India in 4 years, not that we became from a small country to a large country in terms of economy or military. It was the leadership that mattered. The courage to do the thing that India's long-term interests were served by nuclear tests, and for that, if you have to make small current sacrifices, we will do it. This is what Atal Bihari Vajpayee was. Incredible, man, incredible. I have yet to come across a more staunch nationalist. So I was telling you about taking the right decisions. 3 prime ministers did not do it, 4th came, and I think from the time he joined in March, and first thing perhaps, I'll let you stop at that, but one of the first decisions we took was we have to do nuclear tests. And whatever happened thereafter, we will do it. See, that is the leadership, and that's what, see, all of you have, you face those questions, not necessarily large political questions, not necessarily questions of life and death, but we face questions in whatever decision-making levels you reach, and you'll all definitely reach high levels. Always think of the long term of the country. Current sacrifices we should make. And why do we sit at home? The parents made the sacrifices, my parents, his parents, everybody's parents have made the sacrifices. You can have a better future. So if our parents can do it individually, why as a collective nation we can't do it? That's a question Mr. Vajpayee answered. He did those tests, and here we are. After some final statements, some economic sanctions, and much sanctimonious, the world fell in line. The India-US nuclear agreement of 2005 led to informal acceptance of our status as a nuclear weapons state. The rest, as they say, is history. One decision, one man's ability to take care of whatever pressure will come, his faith in himself and his faith in his country, that they will help him and they stand by him. It's actually changed India forever. Acceptance and acquiescence from the rest followed. This was among the most courageous strategic decisions in 1947. We demonstrated that we had the resolve and the courage to walk alone, if necessary. We will not subject our security requirements to the approbation of others, was the message. We were signaling our arrival. Pakistan, smarting in the 1971 debacle and seeing the power differential growing between India and Pakistan, used cross-border terrorism for asymmetrical war and imposed a huge cost on us. Concerned at the risk of nuclear escalation, we were left with only diplomatic tools of protests. This whetted Pakistan's appetite for greater audacity until Prime Minister Vajpayee called the bluff during Kargil invasion in 1999. I was in the PMO to then. And it was another great lesson of life, of the kind of courage that that man had. This muscular approach was given a pass during UPA 1, the muscular approach that it took in during Kargil War. This muscular approach was given a pass during UPA 1 and 2. A series of attacks took place. The most dramatic was the 2008 Mumbai attack. But the lessons of Kargil forgotten for a decade, were not erased from our memory. In NBA 2, under PM Modi, swift retaliation followed the cross-border terrorism in Uri in February 2018, and similarly, the killing of massacre of CRPF personnel in Pulwama in 2019 was settled within 2 weeks by the audacious air strikes in Balakot. India showed that the game of brinkmanship could be played by it too. While Pakistan denied, and this is very interesting, while Pakistan denied its culpability for both these attacks, India announced its actions of surgical strike and Balakot air strikes, not just punishing but diminishing Pakistani government. Here was a government which hides behind we have not done anything, and the other government which does it and says, well, we have done it. The lesson is very clear. Rectitude is rewarded with more attacks. Retaliation leads to rested by the other side. I dwelt enough on the security dimension of foreign policy. Let me move to the second rubric of promoting prosperity. The economic dimension. Until the 70s, there was not much opportunities as the socialist economic policies were inward-looking and suspicious of both the domestic capital and the foreign. These were stimulating the economy and stifling the innate sense of entrepreneurship so native to us. And so we were living with a subpar economic performance and lurching from one economic crisis to another. The first step to reorient the Indian economy started during the short-lived Janata Party government in the 70s, but the process started with some earnestness in the late 80s. This also led to rethink of the foreign policy and gradual warming to the US, which was seeing a potential market and investment destination in India. Collapse of the Soviet Union, emergence of the unipolar world, and a severe foreign exchange crisis, which led to hypothecation of gold to raise foreign exchange in 1991, forced our hand on not just economic policy, but also foreign policy. India opened up its economy to the world during PM Narasimha Rao's government, and that was a very courageous step. He handled it very well. This came with its own set of challenges, as often change brings losers before it poses winners. So, while some businesses were able to adapt, regroup and prosper, many couldn't. Either due to ineptness or because they didn't get enough time to adjust. Opening up also saw our entry into some trade agreements, including with ASEAN countries and South Asian countries. The former proved very disadvantageous, the agreements with ASEAN proved very disadvantageous as we opened up many sectors where we were not ready, and the latter became hostage to Pakistan's unremitting hostility towards India. There's a SARC mechanism, which is basically funded. Once bitten, twice shy. We became wary of more free trade agreements and slowly learned the right lessons. Until we create a level playing field for our domestic companies and build strong enterprises, FTAs are injurious. And so, despite much negotiations and criticism, we walked out of our CEP when our concerns were not addressed. The signal was clear. If our interests were not served, we will not hesitate to say no. This is a trait which is not easy to Indians. We don't like saying no. Samaj Sanskriti ka hissa hai. It's not a part of our civilization to say no. You feel you'll offend somebody. But again, we are coming of age now. We have no compunctions, no reservations in saying NO in capital terms. My interests are not served, answer is yes. You could see the recent thing when you told Russia, don't buy oil from Russia, don't do this, don't do that. If it doesn't suit our interest, answer is NO. Reasons were not the reasons why we left despite tremendous economic growth being witnessed in the East Asia were internalized, and this led to many course corrections and new initiatives. So we have the ability. We make mistakes, but then we have learned the ability of making adjustments. Connectivity, infrastructure, skill development, education system improvement became focus areas. The first big push came during Vajpayee government with the Golden Quadrilateral road link and recasting the telecom sector policy, unleashing rapid expansion of mobile telephone. You guys don't understand that in 90s, telephone call at that point of time, mobile phone call would cost 16 rupees, whether it's incoming or outgoing. So I had a government-paid mobile phone because of the Prime Minister's office. I never used it. Who's going to pay 16 rupees per minute? 16 rupees is a hell of a amount of money in 1990s. From that to today, calls are basically free. There's a long journey we made because that one man understood what it takes and he had the courage to do it. Changing policy from license fees into mainly revenue sharing was a big deal at that point of time. Huge, it made you and cry because I had गलती हो गई, सरकार ने कैसे छोड़ दिया. But he understood that we telephony had to reach every household. Had to reach every household, prices had to drop down dramatically. It was not possible with what you call a fixed bidded license fee. It was a big call at that point of time. Today, of course, they are all rejoicing in it, so we don't know the pain that we have to go through. Okay, those are lessons, and those are lessons I need to draw. So that's the narrative all of us will go. I'm drawing the lessons for decision making and decision makers that will be tomorrow. So this led to the unleashing of mobile telephony revolution in India, that decision, that one decision. And of course, many followed the main decision, turning point. While the direction remained the same in UPA too on the economic policies, its decision making in sectors like telecom and coal were questioned, resulting in much delays and pain to investors in the banking sector, particularly coal and telecom. We still paying the price, both the banks and the sectors. Now a big boost to infrastructure and making Indian economy competitive has come under PM Modi, as we have raised the bar significantly on our ambitions. So we are no longer limited now. We are already talking of someday becoming number one. That is the ambition which has to drive us. And there's a kind of faith and courage that we have got in ourselves. जो शुरू होता है यहाँ से शुरू होता है, ठीक है ना? जीत और हार सब यही शुरू होती है. अगर जीतेगा खाने तो जीतेगा. So our innate sense of entrepreneurship is being unleashed, and you add to it once you move out of the portals of this building. Additionally, knowledge and technology is being leveraged to address many issues, including reducing transaction time and costs, enhancing transparency, making government services more easily accessible, empowering those left behind. Entrepreneurship and risk-taking is now encouraged and celebrated. Wealth creators getting their due. After all, ours is a civilization which worships Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, and Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. Now, both are joining hands. The outcomes are uplifting. From a mere 1 billion foreign exchange reserves in 1991, we now have more than $560 billion in our kitty, enough to tide over any immediate challenges. We created over 40 unicorns in 2021. Despite COVID concerns, in 2022 we may have done even better. I don't have the last figures on that. Notwithstanding the Ukraine-Russia conflict, continuation of COVID, recession, or at least a looming recession in the global economy, we are doing pretty well. So in this financial year, FDI, FPI, FII, I hope you know all these terms, have been impacted, but only temporarily. I think going forward, economy should be doing well. Just a question of maybe paid for 1 or 2 years. So there are too many good stories around to match ours today, and everybody's talking about it. Whoever comes says this is the world's fastest growing economy, you manage the economy well, you've done lots of good things about your economy. Major global powers are hugely invested in India's success today. Our domestic agenda of promoting prosperity is being well served by good foreign relations. We are rushing towards a 5 trillion economy and Mount 10 trillion, who is not far. Recently, Morgan Stanley predicted that India will be the third largest economy by 2027, and some of you just pass out of this. In your lifetime, you will see what existed for centuries until the 17th century. India and China being the world's largest economy. This was historically, that's the reality, except for the last 200 years. Historically, India and China have been the world's largest economies. And I think just another 10-15 years, that's where we will be. Some long-standing problems that sucked up much diplomatic, military and economic resources are being sorted out. As a result of that diplomacy and our growing political heft, removal of Article 370 and the changed status of Jammu and Kashmir have been treated as non-issues in chancelleries around the world, and Pakistan's chest beating has been ignored. Even the Gulf countries, on which much of Pakistani sustenance depended, are turning their back on Pakistan. They are increasing heavily their equities with India, from security cooperation to economy and everything in between. It's a turnaround of historic proportions. Sadly, we haven't internalized it within India, but I can tell you this is a very, very significant development. Very significant development. It's a turnaround of historic proportions with far-reaching consequences for us and the region. Today, a hapless Pakistan has just the one savior, China. Putting it in an unenviable situation, this is a major diplomatic triumph of India. In the first 6 decades since independence, our talks with Pakistan on Kashmir seem to have hovered around some settlement around the line of control. Giving our territory in the hope of gaining peace may sound good, but it's flawed. It is likely to leave us with neither land nor peace. It may only create appetite for more territory grab, as we don't have territorial dispute with Pakistan alone. Recent years indicate some rethink, and I think we are rebooting in many senses our relationships or the approaches with the West, including US, with China and with Pakistan. So now we are very openly calling of taking back Pakistan, occupied Kashmir. Now this is never done earlier. But this is a fundamental shift. People don't realize this fundamental shift because we've changed the whole game of negotiations. Where we sit and say, khali kab kar, not land can't settle karenge, but khali kab kar. And this is happening around. So some of the turbulences you see are because US was used to telling us, do this, do that. That's how it was. Today no longer. Now, see, it will take them few years to internalize this, that you have to now deal with India as an equal or near equal. You don't come and tell Indians, don't buy Russian oil, don't do this, don't buy this from Russia. All this is not going to work with India. Now, a country which is used for 70 years, telling India or 50 years, 30 years, do this, do that, and you by and large found solutions more suitable to what they wanted. All of a sudden staying now. They're simply saying, no, thank you. We'll do what we have to do, and we'll deal with the rest. And this is what is happening in China, this is what is happening in Pakistan, and this is what is happening in the West. So this is a fundamental shift in the way we are dealing with it. It will take some time for them to absorb it. They're just not used to it. And this is a big shift. We don't talk about it publicly, and rightly so, but this is where it's going. So at times you see their reactions, how can India say no to us? They carry a sense of entitlement. It's a fine, thank you. We'll buy Russian oil. For example, this will be one example. This applies to right from nuclear tests when we did. But we did it earlier occasionally. 71 missiles on this up to the pressure of Nixon and Kissinger. 98 we did the nuclear tests. So, but it was episodically. I think now it's just becoming the basic approach. I fight for myself, I look after my interests, and if it does convert, will work. If they don't convert, that's fine. will not work with them. So, lessons learned over the 7 decades, such as not allowing any more land grab, this could be one of the reasons why you're having this physical fisticuffs with China more frequently and more readily than what we have seen in the last so many years. So, because we are now refusing to allow land grab. Pay price today to save a larger future price, be resolute in defending your interests, build convergence with other powers for sustainability, but depend on none. Be relentless in negotiations and agree only for interests served. Strategic autonomy comes from strong and diversified domestic manufacturing capabilities, and Atmanirbharta research and development have been well internalized now and have become the cornerstones of our economic security and diplomatic approaches. New policies are being crafted, resources are being allocated, and a series of actions are being taken to ensure that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past. The new drone policy, the clarion call to make India Atmanirbhar, increasing allocations for domestic defense procurement. Now, each budget, defense budget, yearly defense budget, has a very clear specific allocation of amount of money which should only be spent on right domestically. If the defense ministry can't use it, they don't get the money. PLI scheme for a number of important sectors of the economy, I think the chip and semiconductors being the most important, and which the government is willing to commit up to $10 billion, is a huge commitment. Massive incentives for semiconductors and chip manufacturing, increasing encouragement to private sector in defense productions are some of these examples. The new robustness and resoluteness is visible, whether it was the challenge in Doklam in 2017, again in China, which was listed on Siliguri corridor, Udi in 2018 in Pakistan, Pulwama 2019 in Pakistan, East Ladakh in 2020, and Tawang in 2022. India's message is clear. It's no longer a soft state. Taking on India will carry a price. But even while we act tough, the value and significance of soft power is not lost on us. After all, we didn't influence the world in ancient times. We influenced the world in ancient times through the power of our ideas. Intelligent use of soft power can have outside outcomes. In fact, in recent years, we redoubled our efforts. The Organization of International Day of Yoga from 2000 onwards, actually I implemented that, I was director in ICCR. And actually, if I tell you the figure this time, you'll be startled with it. Really the question answer. How, with so little we did, and that's another thing, It's not a question of resources. When you want to solve a problem, throw ideas, don't throw resources. Now, this is a very American tendency of throwing resources. Keep throwing ideas at the problem, you'll find very low cost workable solutions. So the Organization of International Day of Yoga from 2015 onwards, promoting our thoughts, values, beliefs, sharing generously our limited resources with other countries. The COVID vaccines was one of them, through humanitarian assistance, education and training, development projects, and in the recent past giving COVID vaccines generously when others refuse to do so are but some examples. The Jaipur footwear, where I volunteer, is one of them. In the last 4 years, including the COVID period, we have helped we have actually rehabilitated more than 10,000 people abroad in 20 countries. I have mentioned about outside outcomes. Here is one example. Due to the image of, and when I mentioned about soft power, it's very important to understand this. And how kind of outside outcomes you can get for very little investment with a lot of imagination. Due to the image of Indians as decent, diligent, intelligent, and non-interfering people, Indians are globally preferred as immigrants. It serves our domestic agenda of promoting employment and prosperity. The result, India receives over $80 billion a year in remittances alone. And this is growing. So we have been number one inward remittance recipient country for past at least 1 decade. And this is only going to grow. And let me give you an example, because I served in the Middle East, only one posting I did in the Gulf, my last foreign posting. And they were all Sunni states, Islamic states, all Sunni Islamic states. Kuwait did not give visas to Pakistanis and Bangladeshis. Except those who had the visa, they'll extend them. No new visas will be given. The exceptional case, an exception for like few a year. And they were giving visas to Indians, and new visas to Indians to work there. During my time, it increased from 6,25,000 to 8,50,000. In a Sunni Islamic state. No visas for Pakistan, no visas for Bangladesh. And what was the reason? Very simple. Image. We don't have bad people in India and they only live across on two sides of our borders. It's not the case. But the image that we have created for ourselves of being decent, diligent, sincere, non-interfering, non-criminal minded people has opened so many doors. And what I'm telling you applies for most Gulf countries. This is the value of soft power. So little expenditure, so little effort, such outside outcomes. But today, you get $100 million. It's single most important way of earning money after IT. We don't export any product worth $80 billion a year. No, exporting oil products is okay, but you import it, you make money and send it back, and neither here nor there. But after IT, it's the second most important way of earning money, purely on soft power. Some immediate challenges, such as the standoff with China or pinpricks by Pakistan, will continue. There could be risk of a two-front conflict. I would rate the possibilities low, but it could. We will have to see ourselves to deal with such scenarios and be deft in our diplomacy to prevent such eventualities. Delicate handling of relations with Russia and energizing of war are strategies in this direction. Our sophisticated handling of Ukraine conflict is now receiving gradual acknowledgement. Ideas and languages we use in our bilateral and international articulation of our views is getting acceptance as was witnessed in the last year's G20 Leaders Summit communique. And they almost used the ideas and language that we had used, our Prime Minister used. This is also a period, and this is important to note, this is also a period when an emerging great power is challenging the established power, which is one is China, second is the US. Such periods are difficult to handle and miscalculations are possible. We will have to be forever vigilant but not sit on the sidelines. After all, we are next in line for great power status. But make no mistake, we will be challenged ever so often from outside and from within. Let me do a flashback because we're all very young, so you will not remember. Maybe I think some of us would remember that. We'll be challenged ever so often from outside and from within. Let me do a flashback and share my perceptions of them, my perceptions. Not everything my perception, but this is the perception. Indira Gandhi led a very strong government. 97 war victory, Pokhran 1 nuclear test in 1974, integration of Sikkim in 1975. Yet there was no respite and she had to face serious strikes and disruptions in 1974 and 75. Similarly, Prime Minister Vajpayee, despite successful nuclear tests in 1998, lost majority, and his government in 1999. And even after Kargil victory and nuclear tests, his party did not get a complete majority. It was again an NDA government which was put together. And now we see multitude of manufactured agitations in India. There was and is a concerted effort to weaken strong nationalist governments. This will remain a perennial challenge. Be very cautious about it. It's not organic, it's manufactured. I am confident that in the new India being built, by your generation on the judicious blends of powers of Lakshmi, Saraswati, Shastra and Shastra, our future is secure. After all, we are the inheritors of Chanakya, the master statecraft. Thank you very much for your patience. I will be happy to take any questions if the director and they allow. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Respected sir, please accept my greetings on this special day because today 110 nations worldwide is celebrating World Peace Day on the occasion of 54th Ascension Anniversary of Prajapita Brahma. In 1994, Govt of India released state stamp of Prajapita Brahma. I wanted to ask you, with respect to, since you have worked as a peace ambassador, I wanted to ask you, on one side we are aspiring to become a Guru, the world Vishwa Guru. On the other side, we are in the sixth extinction, on the verge of sixth extinction. So what are the attributes that we research scholars should inculcate in our life, balancing? Thank you so much.
You know, our extinction is not inevitability through our actions. You know, if a meteor comes and hits, there's nothing you can do about it. But that's how dinosaurs die. This is what is a commonly believed reason. So our extinction is not preordained. It's up to how we deal with the world, deal with the earth, rather not world, and how sensible we are in dealing with it. It will depend upon that. So, actually, if you see, one of the main themes of this our India's G20 presidency is that it's one earth, one family, one future. And political boundaries at the end of the day. I mean, if you look at the map of the world at the time of end of Second World War and today, so many new countries have, or some of the countries have broken. This is a different world in terms of political boundaries. But that's just one part of it. There is much more to life and much more to the world than political boundaries. And this is the message that we are trying to, we have been historically driving. And we are doing it with much greater effort during this G20 presidency. That's why it's one earth, one family, one future. So now the question is whether others will respond to it or not. We can only try. We can try as hard as we can, but and eventually it will happen. It's not that consciousness is building, but right now there's an understanding that there's a large problem of climate change which all of us have to collectively solve. The problem is of who will take how much burden. So the debate is not whether to do something or not. The debate is who will take how much burden. And here the West is being, I would say, rather selfish. But I'm sure hopefully we'll see reason. So, am I hopeful? Yes, I am. Human ingenuity is enormous. Our ability to solve problems is enormous. I'm sure we'll find solutions which will be workable. In good part, thanks to technology. Whether it is solar, renewables, you can't ask, whether in India you can't ask people to reduce the level standard of living, which in any case is very low for most Indians. And for the West also, you can't ask them to bring their standard of living down dramatically. Little bit they'll take. But the nature of politics, they move over. That's not possible. So technology will find some solutions, lots of solutions, whether it's green hydrogen, whether it's renewables, getting more out of solar energy, getting more out of wind, and all other very interesting things that are going on. So a combination of these two would perhaps help us find solutions where West does not face a serious erosion of their standard of living, and we can solve this problem, and also bring the lot of developing world higher, because we can't ask people in India, don't use electricity, they are already very low level of development. So technology will help us solve this problem, and some common sense, and so we have to basically keep putting the pressure, keep articulating these concerns, and find practical workable solutions. And that's what we are trying to do. Thank you.
Sir, would you be elaborating a little bit about, it's my personal question, rather, about this POK, Balochistan. There has been a lot of talk from even the Balochistan to come, and their desire to be with India. So what is your time frame in your estimation? Something like that.
Time frames would be difficult. So it's like this. Balochistan is a separate issue. It has nothing to do with POK. First of all, as I had mentioned in Beyond My Prepared Text, that we are trying to reframe the way we will engage with them. And it's not going to be easy. It's a continuous process. Now we put the pedal on the accelerator. That, this is how you are going to do this. You can't come and tell me do this, do that, don't do this. It's not going to work. That India is now done and dusted behind us. Those were times, now we're never going to take all this. It will take some time, lots of time perhaps, for some of them to internalize in that. And to see, immediately after Russia-Ukraine conflict began, every third day some European envoy would come, some minister would come, Luxembourg, you need a magnifying glass to locate Luxembourg or something like that. When you do the map of Europe, forget about the map of world. They'll come and give us yam, now they stop doing it. We told them exactly where to get off. So it takes time, it will take time. And but we have done it, and we have shown it to them. Without being aggressive, firm, we articulated it, we publicly articulated it. Public articulation was important, not because we rub it in them. We don't like rubbing things in people. Basically, we are very decent laws, so we don't like making other people feel small. And that's the reason for us to say no psychologically is something great. Even if you ask me the sun and moon, for me to say no would be, go to Europe and they'll say no, thank you. We don't do it. I mean, that's I would say both the burden and the beauty of an old civilization. There is sophistication in everything we do. Not a makeup. So that's also sophistication. And sophistication doesn't come easily. It takes centuries and centuries of your civilizational development and evolution. So going forward, we are changing the discourse and how West will deal with us and how we will deal with the West. Same with China and Pakistan. So far, I mean, if you remember and you remember, in 71 we were ready to settle at LOC, and this was a deal there. Nothing is written, but people who participated in those negotiations. I have spoken to them. One of them was my ambassador. He says, we propelled back. I think, looking back, it was right thing, good for us. That today, this India is now saying that you have to opposite. And the deal is, you have to occupy in the state, you are vacated. End of the matter, there is nothing more, nothing less to it. How it will happen, when it will happen, uska ek alag rhythm hai, which is beyond human intelligence today to tell you that this is a time frame. Because there are so many variables working on it. See, chemistry and physics we understand.
Yes,
every reaction has a proportional reaction. So you know exactly what you are doing. जहाँ पे human intervention is involved है, वहाँ पे there are so many ifs and buts, variables बहुत हैं. You can't foresee all those. But I would say this is the direction is going. Pakistan at the end of it is an artificial creation of four disparate groups coming together at that point of time. And those who created Pakistan, what created the worst in that country? Ultimately, Pakistan was created by the Muslims of UP in part of India. It's the current part of India. They went there, they got the worst deal there. So it was an artificial creation. Now, what will happen to this artificial creation is a question mark. And when it will happen, we don't know about it. Who would have foreseen, say, for example, in 1965, that in 6 years there will be separate Bangladesh? Or who would have foreseen in 1986, or 87, or 88, the Soviet Union will break into so many countries? Very few. I mean, there are a couple of people who thought this could happen. Because it's beyond our human capacity to understand how it will work. So, some things we must leave to nature, let nature do its work, we must know our work, and then be patient and let nature do its work. What we have done is, we opened the salvo, that this is it, this was ours, and we have to take it back. We must have been wage war for this. What happens with the artificial creation, we don't know about it. So let's just do the right thing and then see how nature will take its own course.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Is there any more questions further?
I have one question, sir. Whether India will extend help to Pakistan?
Very good evening, sir.
Whether India should extend help at this prevailing situation and forgetting the earlier all the unfaithfulness towards their agreement with India.
To whom?
India, Pakistan, now Pakistan wants help from India in every form.
First of all, have they asked for help? They don't ask for help.
But
So
it is
there's
seen in the media. I don't know. Oh,
Media creations of people.
oh media.
See, you have to understand this thing. Media is all, good part of media has its own games. And they represent different interests and different whatever it is. Okay, I'll stop. So, Pakistan is not asked for help, first of all. This is what's the point of offering something? Why offer something? Don't people of India require assistance? And you're going to get nothing out of it if you've not learned this lesson for 70 years. I mean, then what's the point of, and when did you learn those lessons?
We learned many things earlier.
So we just don't have to do it. It's not our job to solve their problems. So we don't have to pull their chests out of fire. It's not our job.
Very good evening, sir. Sir, I am honored to ask you a question that sir, I am Palas Dash from third year civil engineering. And sir, I am honored to ask you a question as I have met one of the most veteran personality I ever met. Sir, my question is, sir, India, the nation, who taught the chapter of tolerance, universal acceptance, peace, integrity to the nation, G2P is an example of it. But sir, still, directly or indirectly, our nation is trying to get a seat in the UN Security Council. But sir, as you know, as I know, that for that entry, that all members should permit. But the China has a veto power. Then what should be our strategy and what should be your opinion that we should overcome this challenge?
Okay. So, let me quickly explain to the process of UN Security Council expansion. Whether China will veto or will not veto, that will only come when the voting takes place. Until then, it's just a matter of conjecture whether Pakistan, China will say yes, no, whatever. So, the expansion of UN Security Council has been on the UN's agenda for 3 decades at least. I was in our mission to United Nations from 1999 to 2002. Even then, it had been discussed, was being discussed for 10 years before that, so it's more than 30 years being discussed. So every year there will be a session on this, which is what we call, UN has 6 committees, so this is the 4th committee matter. They would discuss this. We'll spend a week, 10, 15 days discussing this, and then next year again, after they'll meet for these 15 days, discuss it, and that's it. and he should give his view, his or her view, they'll give, and that's where it was. So from that point of time, in the last 30 years, what success is that now there is a text. Earlier it was only speeches. We will say, "Hona chahiye, India hona chahiye," somebody will say, whatever. So now there is a text to negotiate, to come to an agreement. The first thing is, there has to be agreement among all the members of the UN. When I say member, it will be voted upon, so 2,000 have to vote for it, of expanding the Security Council. First, the decision, which is there broadly, that Security Council has to be expanded, reformed, whatever you want to call it. The second decision is by how many seats. Right now it's 15. Now whether some will say 18, some will say 21, 26, all kinds of numbers are there. Depending on just your fancy hair, no numbers are there. So they have to take a call on how many more members first. Second decision, how many more permanent from these new members or new seats, how many to be added to permanent membership. On that also there is an agreement. So that decision also has to be taken. Then what will be the powers of these new permanent members? So different kind of ideas. They will be permanent but not veto, whatever. All kinds of ideas are there. This is the next decision. And then once all this is ready and voted upon by UN Security Council, then it comes UN General Assembly. Then it comes to Security Council. The Security Council's role will be for the election, for the expansion of the Security Council. Only at that stage will General. So there is no agreement now. So I explained to you the process. You understand where it is. If you're asking me when it's likely to happen, not in the foreseeable future, not for the next many years. I don't think so. And for good reasons, because those who have no chance in hell of becoming a permanent member, what interest would they have in expanding it? They will tell us. I mean, 130 countries told us they want us to see in Security Council. And they mean it. It's not that they don't mean it. Some of them also mean it. And most of them mean it. But, for example, Latin American countries where no problems in having India in the Security Council. But not Brazil. Argentina and others would not like Brazil to be there. And Mexico would not like. Canada would not like. Europeans, there are no problems in having India in the Security Council as a permanent member. Maybe even Japan, they don't mind. But not Germany. Okay? So, how do we come to the conclusion? Because this is a package. This package will be approved. Not just India's candidature, not just India getting into the Security Council as a permanent member. So in this package, Africans can't decide whether it will be Nigeria, Egypt or South Africa, 3 main candidates, or those who feel that they have a natural reason to be in the Security Council. Nigeria being the largest, most populous country. South Africa being the smartest country there. And Egyptian feels that they are the oldest civilization and they also represent the Arab world. So there's no decision there. But so your own decision, it's not just India's candidate which is just getting India into permanent as a permanent member. So many other countries. And then India has to become Pakistan and some others will get up and say Asia, and why India? So except Pakistan now, I don't think many would object to it seriously. So to speculate today whether China will support or not support is difficult because not that China would love to have India at all. That's pretty much clear. But they can't stop both, China and Japan. So they may have to choose, if it suppose it's decided to get 5 more seats and 2 going to Asia, I don't know if China will be able to veto both. Whether they will veto Japan or India, I don't know. At this stage, today perhaps Japan, 5 years down the road, when we are third largest economy, maybe far more powerful. So it could be India. So it's still, too many things are still up in the air. To say when it will happen, I would not bet on anything happening soon. But I explained the process to understand. The only debate comes with China, India, Japan, because they are not in there yet. They are not going to vote tomorrow or the next foreseeable future. Any other questions?
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
I am Amit Kumar Chanchal from 3rd year production engineering department.
Can you wave your hand? I can see where you are. Okay.
My question is, as India is #1 in remittances, sometimes it's beneficial for our country and sometimes it's harm because our man forces goes to other country. What are your opinion according to our country that it's help to our country or it's harm? That's it.
No, I don't see any harm whatsoever. There's no harm. See, you can't get jobs for the people in India today. That's a stark reality. And no matter how hard we try and how much we industrialize, it's still going to be at least 10, 15, 20 years before you can give jobs to all the people who in India want jobs. Here they are going abroad. Some are very low-level jobs, some are top jobs. And they're sending back money and you need foreign exchange. You see, ours is a very strange economic development model, which is in a way very unique, because Japan grew through trade surpluses. They were exporting far more than what it was importing. That's how China has grown. That's how Italy grew. That's how many other countries grew in the world have grown. Singapore, for example. But it's a small state, but that's how it has been. They exported their way to growth. In our case, we are importing our way to growth. And I don't know last time we had a trade surplus. At least not since you guys were born. We used to call it every war. We never had a trade surplus. And yet we are growing. So it's a very strange, very Indian way of doing this. That you import far more every year. And yet you can grow at 6-7%. Which hasn't happened anywhere in the world. Most growths have come through export surpluses. So now, if you have imports, you have a foreign exchange deficit in your trade, what you call trade deficit. The trade deficit has to be met to some level. So remittances help you bridge that gap of this year it could be how much? So we're looking at a trade deficit of maybe $300 billion, maybe more, $300 billion. At least 100 businesses are there, maybe 100 from services. And some FDI, FII, so we will pass through. But that's a major challenge for us. We have to build our exports. And we have to build them very seriously and very quickly. So until then, it's good to export people. They create huge opportunities, they create huge wealth. Just look at the amount of wealth that has been created by Indians who have gone to the Gulf countries. There will be at least dozens of them who are billionaires today. And they invest in big time in India also. So I don't see any flip side of that. Any other question?
Good evening, sir. My name is Anindita Chandra. I'm a research scholar in mechanical department.
Where are you? Can you just leave it?
Hi, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So, sir, my query is, does India have any initiative in developing and manufacturing defense ordnance in India itself rather than depending on Western countries? And does the government allocate some kind of fund for research purposes for defense missions?
Yes, both. So answer is yes to both. As I said, we are for the last few years we made a fundamental shift in our defense procurement policy. A fundamental shift. So there is huge emphasis on Make in India on defense equipment side. But it's not easy. See, it like this, it took US, which is a huge industrial base, it took them about 60 years to make something like an F-16 aircraft. From the time they first made the aircraft, defense aircraft, it took them 60 years. Now you have to leapfrog all that. A lot of it can be leapfrog because you don't have to reinvent all the wheels. Lots of wheels are already invented. But some of the wheels may have been invented, but they are not being given to you. You have to redo all those things, you have to learn it. It will take some time. But we are now, for a change, we have made a fundamental shift in our thinking. You can't get major power if you can't make your own guns and your aircraft and your ships and your submarines. Nobody in the world has accomplished that. It is not going to happen. We understand fully now. We understood fully, but there are reasons, I don't know what, where we are not doing it. Today it's happening, and it's happening big time, very serious. So lots of things are happening, SC as an example, but you will see lots of other things happening. Because some really big industrial companies of India, really big ones, and people who know engineering, people who know metallurgy, people who know how to make things. Tata, for example, Larsen Toubro in shipbuilding, Bharat Forge. They're top-rate companies. And there are many of them who got into this. It's just a matter of time. So as I said, that's why I said about 15 years is what will require. And a lot of research also taking place, a lot of startups have come in this domain. I don't know if you guys remember the last 26 January. So we have a 26 January Republic Day parade, which all of you see. I don't know if you also see the Beating Retreat, which is on 28th and 29th January. Find time this year and see it. But if you can find old recordings, which is easily available, have a look at last year's Republic Day. After the Beating Retreat, we had 1,000 drones. Just on top of Rashtrapati Bhavan, South Block, North Block, which was not even 1 square kilometer. So just less than 1 square kilometer, we had 1,000 drones, not one accident happened. And it's not that they were just flying there, they were changing colors, they came into the colors of India's flag, this, that, they were doing everything. 1,000 drones in less than 1 square kilometer. And this is done by Indian company. So lots of things, lots of very interesting things are happening. It takes a little while. So I mean, look, nuclear side, space side, we're pretty good already. But other sides, the guns and the ordnance, as I said, a lot of things are happening, both in terms of thinking, in terms of on-the-ground changes, like all the ordnance factories have now been converted into PSUs, into limited companies, and private sector is being deeply engaged. I think next stage will be some of these will be brought to the market and will be, as you say, will be sold off to private companies. So some very exciting times, and actually urge some of you who have any inclination, this is a great sector to be. If you can set up startups, if you can have some good ideas, and government is giving money for research, lots of money is being made available through DRDO and other organizations for research in this side, and very supportive approach of the government. So I would urge any of you who has the desire to do that, just get into this field. Even if you don't make a lot of money, you will actually help your country. And this is far more important than making money. After a point, money has no meaning. How much can you do that? And afterward, it has a very, very quickly, we have a law of very, very diminishing returns. So think of it as a great option. Perhaps your director will now push some of you and say, do some defense projects, small defense projects. As I was mentioning to you, you already have a innovation hub and startup culture. I lived in Israel, I can tell you one thing. Israel is absolutely phenomenal. And that's how it all began. And all these defense technologies, they all came from the defense sector. These technologies, which they converted into commercial uses. And when I was in Israel, and many of these were friends of mine, Israel had the highest per capita funding, venture capital funding in the world. And I'm talking about 20 years back. I was there from 2000 to 2005. Incredible guys. It's all from 5 people, 3 people, 4 people. So take some defense technology, take some telecom technology, and convert it into large commercial uses. So eventually you all become very rich also perhaps. So get down to it. But there's a lot of work will happen to answer your question. Any other question?
Good evening, sir. My name is Ashutosh Kumar. I am final year production engineering student. So my question revolves around education and basic research policy of India with respect to developed countries like US or UK. And since, as you mentioned in your talk about how technology is going to be the leader of whatever the development of countries are happening. So how India is planning or managing its external relationship with these countries to boost our research culture in our country, because most of the bright minds are going abroad after even graduating from top-notch institutes, some IITs or NITs. So what is some policies or some...
No, so firstly, this is my firmly held belief that technology determines the fate of countries. Because if you see, your socio-political, economic organization has to adjust to developments of technology. Let me give you one example of it. There is something which can be debated, and it's a long debate as the election itself. But see it like this. How Britain developed so quickly. It was a small country in the 16th, 17th century. Who knew Britain? So, steam engine, use of steam was developed. Now, when there was a technological breakthrough at that point, big technological breakthrough. That enabled two things: mass production and mass movement. Mass movement through railway, was a good setup, and big ships, it was not used. You could have ships which moved on engines rather than just purely either wind power or sails or maybe some running of coal. So mass production and mass transportation became possible through this innovation. Now, how do you mass produce? See, if you set up a shop which was decentralized manufacturing, the family could come together and everybody would do some work and it worked. But you are going to make, say, even at that point of time, say, 50 ships. You needed a large manufacturing system. Now, large manufacturing system required large capital. Large capital helped. How would large capital come? Because you don't innovate in terms of capital markets. And hence, the limited liability companies are created. Now, if you see, it's an anathema, and it's almost immoral, to create a limited company, and then something goes wrong, you say, fine, thank you. Fine, thank you. हमने तो पैसा आपके एतबार पे दिया था. Why do I invest in the Tata company and not some company whose credentials I don't believe? Because my trust is in Tata. But if Tata tomorrow says the limited company था, पैसा गया तो गया, आपका गया, tough luck. But it was a moral enormity that somebody will take your money and say, fine, thank you, अभी क्या करें, कुछ नहीं, सब खत्म हो गया. And you get nothing back. But this change was brought into the economic laws to enable this. Now, when you started mass manufacturing, you needed mass labor, so you needed labor laws. So everything came from that technological breakthrough, which then brought subsequent changes to capital laws, labor laws, and gradually to representation. So why do we need democracy? For example, let me ask you this question. So if in the past it was not required, somebody sitting in Kerala and somebody sitting in Rajasthan had no linkage. The Russian today, action of one set of people sitting in Delhi and taking decisions have repercussions for everyone. All of you get affected. And if you're going to get affected, you say, I want my say into this. You can't sit in Delhi and take decisions and then ask me to bear the consequences without my being heard. So democracy was required because your decisions are impacting me. If those decisions don't impact me, what difference does it make to me? It makes no difference to me. You can do what you want to sitting in Kerala, I can do what I want sitting in Jaipur, and it doesn't matter. So we have to change the political organizations. And that's why there's so much of talk of democracy, because decisions of one set of people have impact over the entire country or the entire world. So we need to be heard. So technology actually changed that. We have now built this linkage, but that is a linkage. So technology determined the fates of countries. And that's how you see, UK flourished so much. They created capital, they created the lawyers, created the insurance system. They created insurance system. That's how it was created. Each lawyer had, so lawyer was like an unlimited company. So we just sets of insurance brokers will sit together and say, okay, fine, this ship is going. So what, £1 billion. Okay, that 20 of us will take 50,000 each and something goes wrong, all of us will put in the money and whatever insurance premium that will divide. You have to create an insurance system. Your all this involved. So a lot of changes that came to your economic, political, social organizations came because of technological changes. And that continues to happen. I mean, today IT will be one example, and we are seeing how many changes it has brought and how many changes into your laws. Like today we are talking of control of social media. Technology has given you the breakthrough. You can post anything anywhere, Instagram, you can create any news, you can put a donkey on my face and say, you can know how do you control it. Now we are grappling with this, and we have to create new organizations, perhaps we have to create new set of laws, we have to create new kinds of courts, whatever, to solve this problem. So technology is leading, rest follow. And that has been the story of mankind ever since. You can see each technological breakthrough done, and then where the changes were permitted, and changes were encouraged, and changes were brought quickly, those countries became winners. And those who resisted those changes were left behind. Have I answered your question? Anybody else?
Hello sir, my name is Abhishek. I'm first year and production engineering sir. My question is that if India has any friend that is most reliable and the country can help India in any situation, no matter.
Can you keep mic a little away because there's a lot of echo.
Okay sir, my question is, does India has a reliable friend, trustworthy friend that no matter what, that friend gonna help in globally and it gonna help India as well. India gonna help them, and it's like India's foreign policy has been on their interest only. But if India wants to have a friend that gonna, my question is that, sorry, I think I missed.
Look,
I mean a trustworthy friend.
No, so basically, if I understand you well, you're talking, is there a country on which India can rely fully forever?
Yes, yes.
I think it's an unrealistic expectation to have such a country or for India to be such a country. See, eventually, it's a convergence of interests which sustains. If there are no convergence of interests, no relationship can sustain for very long. It can sustain, it can take some shocks. It can't just continue forever without convergence of interests. So the trick, as I mentioned in my lecture also, you have to build large convergence of interests. Because then they're burdened in hurting us. With their interest we get hurt. But if no interest of mine is hurt, if something happens to you, then that relationship is not workable for very long. So the change today that you see in the US attitude towards India is not because we are a democracy, we always are a democracy. No, whoever they're opposing is all through. Whoever is supporting Pakistan all through. Because there wasn't as deep a convergence of interest with us as they had with Pakistan. So all this talk about democracy, human rights, open society is all very good talk. And those are all values that internally we must pursue. And that's what US does. Its own country is very democratic. But when it comes to supporting, it supports countries which it can manage or where its interests are served. They don't care about democracy when it comes to supporting others. And why would they support Pakistan all through? When it was either a flawed democracy or no democracy, under the control of army. They have already been doing that. So let's not even try and even think of doing this. That will continue to be a friend of another country regardless of whether they serve our interests or not. It's not being realistic about it. We'll do lots of things. We'll be unequal in demanding what we expect from others and what we give. Like for example, our neighbors. We give far more than what we get. That's understandable. We see our interests in larger terms, long term, short term, aid dena hai, help karna hai, karna hai. Long-term peace that we have, far greater value to us. That's okay. It can't be divorced from convergence of interest.
So what about Russia?
It's convergence of interest. I mean, look, see like this that this war has caused the whole world a lot of grief. I'm not going to at the moment of whether they show right or wrong. Because that's a very complex issue. I don't know. So Russia is not Russia one day got up and said, "Chalo kuch karte hain, kya karna hai?" So the Ukraine to beat hai. It was not that. No, that we do as when we are young kids, we kya karna hai, किसी का ball है, किसी का window pane तोड़ दिया, ball फेंक के, वो सब हो जाता है. Countries, serious countries don't work like that. Russia is a serious. The interest will be hurt, they will be very seriously threatened, that's how they proceed. And so they have to act. Now whether they should have acted, that's a matter of debate, we keep debating about it. It doesn't change Russia's view on how to act. So our interests are in Russia because we have huge defense dependence on Russia. Your major submarines, your major aircraft carrier, one aircraft carrier Russian origin, most of your aircrafts, the air platforms are from Russian origin. Your land tanks are of Russian origin or Russian technology based. You just can't throw it all away for sake of democracy or for sake of some attack somewhere. It doesn't concern us. So what are we trying to preserve? Our national interests. Our national interests are right now as that security and prosperity. Security lies more with Russia today. It will change in 20 years, 15 years, maybe faster. And prosperity lies with US, so balance both. Life doesn't, look at all, and what applies to a country also applies to life. Life doesn't present 100% solutions to problems. The smartness is in finding on balance a solution which is better than the problem. And that's how all of us take those decisions, that's how we take those decisions. Okay?
Thank you. If there is any more question, I think we should have one last question.
As many questions as I want to have. 3 hours for that.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Sir, my name is Videsh.
And just wait because it's so dark and then I can't see it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sir, my name is Videsh and I am from Govt.
Please, respect everything. You can't indulge in this side conversation. It affects the last thing the question.
Sir, my name is Videsh and I am from Engineering. I am first year. Sir, my question is that what can we as a college students and our college and our state can contribute to India's global image? What can we do at our stage?
India's global?
Image, for India's global image. And sir, I have two questions. My second question is, what should be India's or our as a student behavioral approach on a global level with Asian and Western countries?
Second question I could not understand.
Sir, what should be India's behavioral approach to with Asia and with Asian and Western countries on a global level?
So, let me answer the second question first. In terms of behavioral approach, see, you understand this thing. Your relationship with other countries, as I said, is building convergence of interests.
Yes.
There's a broader trust, and that is what is sustainable. So, in terms of behavior, our diplomats are pretty well behaved because we are polite, we are reasonably well dressed, we are good in hospitality. So that's the behavioral part. But for the rest is not convergence of interests and how you articulate it. So the main job of a diplomat, we are asking policies made in Delhi, what do we do in the field? See, my first and foremost job is to convince you that what I am doing is in your interest. Because you are not going to care about my doing and my coming to and telling me very interested in you say the marriage is what's in it for me? Good, you want this, you want that, but what's in it for me? So the trick is to convince the other person. And not by stealth, not by cheating, not by fooling. That doesn't last for long. You get exposed very quickly. This convincing other people that if you do things like that, it's in your interest also. Okay? So that's the bulk of the work that we have to do when we are abroad. And for that we use various means, through the media, through your personal good behavior, to help elsewhere, and building this intellectual capacity to be able to convince other person, if you do this, this is good for you. So that's what we do abroad. And I'll give you examples. I mean, I can say it here. When I was in the UN between 1999 and 2002, and this will apply before, after, I can talk of my experience there, not because I was there, but this is my experience. Nothing happened because of me. I'm humble enough to understand. But when media spoke in the Security Council, or when Pakistan spoke in the Security Council, that was the time delegates could say, "Chalo, coffee pee ke aaya the." Bahut din se baithe hain, because they knew exactly, no matter what issue is being discussed in the UN Security Council, no matter what, Pakistan घूम फिर के Kashmir आ गया. कोई से शुरू कर लीजिए आपको. You start from no matter what. कहीं से शुरू हो, तीसरे पैराग्राफ में उनकी स्पीच में कश्मीर शुरू हो जाएगा, फिर वो सेकंड लास्ट पैराग्राफ पर कश्मीर चलेगा, फिर वापस वो मेन थीम पे आके कंक्लूड करेंगे. So people knew very predictably ये क्या बोलेंगे, मालूम है. तो कॉफी पी के आ जाते हैं, लिख देंगे पाकिस्तान spoke about Kashmir because that's what they're going to do. And when it came to Libya, it was going to lambast Americans, and that's what it was. And when it came to Cuba, they will go after it. And no matter what, where you start, what was the issue, वो कोई दो और irrelevancies, you know. तो शुरू के दो पैराग्राफ वो उसको लिख दो, बाकी सारा स्पीच जो पुराना वाला था वही लास्ट को पैराग्राफ. But when India spoke, people would leave other committee meetings who were not concerned with Security Council. They will say, India बोल रहा है, they will come with some freshness of view. They will come with some very, very serious ideas. Now, that was the image. And we worked very hard for it. It's not that. So it meant a lot of good work, a lot of hard work. But that's how it happened. We built this image. So we carried enormous credibility, and that is why we have rarely lost election in Europe. And the elections we have lost were against the judgment of foreign ministry. When our professional judgment was will not win this election, so that's not contested. Otherwise, we will never lost the election. This is a credibility we carry. If India is there, it will bring freshness of thinking. It will see various aspects of this issue. They may agree, they may not agree, that's another issue. Because you agree on things if it serves your interest. Okay, you will not agree because, not because the idea is not good, but it doesn't serve your interest. But it will be freshness of thought, it will be new perspective, new dimensions. So we have that intellectual capacity to sit and convince other countries of this. I was telling you what would have changed Saudi Arabia or UAE in the last few years. But we were able to talk to them, we were able to discuss with them, we were able to tell them that rising India is good for you. And why? Because they're non-interfering, they're non-aggressive, they're not going to come over and take over anything that they own. Now it is seeped into the system. And आज अगर उस इलाके में we can depend on somebody, it will be India. And India will not come and accept the price for this. It's taken a lot of hard work, it's taken a lot of, but this is how we deal with it. See, everything can't be transactional. ये 10 रुपये रखो, 5 रुपये तो समोसा ले लो, फिर 5 रुपये और जोड़ोगे तो मैं चाय भी दे दूँगा. No, it's not so transactional. You want to build a long-term sustainable thing. I have to convince you that whatever we do is for your good also, not just for my good, but for your good. For your good. And then you do it willingly. So when you're talking of Vishwaguru, this is the objective that we're looking at. So the whole debate around G20, people don't see things in depth. It's not about promoting something. Because I'm just coming till yesterday and day before. I was helping people who were qualified for the civil services main. I'm going to give the interviews. And as I was telling Professor Chakravarti, that of this 8 and 15 people I had spent time, and those who were asked me to do that were feeling restless because उनका 20 मिनट कर लीजिए. I said 20 मिनट में क्या सिखाएंगे इसको? If I have to, if the guys pass through mains, I said, look, I don't care if I have to sit till all night here, I'll do it. If I help somebody, I'll do it willingly, I'll do it willingly. So, of the 15 people, 8 were from IITs and IITs. NIT Gallo, Z, plus 4 or 5 IITs. So, The point is that there's so much that India can bring on the table. Again, वो क्या था G20 में, तो simple superficial answer which you read in a Kunji, there are lots of material available printed US media. India is not built for tourism or improving some investment. That will get regardless. हमें कोई G20 थोड़ी करना पड़ता है इसके लिए. We want to actually reframe the whole conversation between the developed world and the developing world. Convey this point, which was part of the question I was raised earlier. If we are in it all together, don't think that if I sing, you are not going to sing one day. So in it all together. So let's find solutions. So it is actually reframing the whole discourse between the developed world and the developing world. Will we succeed? I don't know about it. But should we try? Yes, we should. If we won't try, who will try? The kind of intellectual bandwidth we have, the kind of experience we have, the kind of smartness we have, we should do it. Worst, if nothing happens, there's still some good, because the developing world will trust it fully. ये countries का व्यापार कर सकते हैं. So I think that benefit will come. So this is there's an answer to it. It's not everything is not transactional. You see, as I said, you see your interest in different slices. Some are immediate, some are mid-term, some are long-term. And some you just like our forefathers did, planted seeds and nurtured the trees. Even though knowing fully well that tree will give fruit after 20 years and they won't be there. Exactly this is what, as a nation also we must do. Because as I said, there's right now a tussle going on between 1 and 2. And the fate of who will remain whether one will remain number 1 will remain number 1 or not, or whether number 2 will become number 1, will be determined by number 3. So we are in a very sweet spot today. The next 10, 15 years till this tussle will continue, and by the time we will perhaps be either number 2 or number 1. And then they will all gang up against us. We will be very clear about it. Make no mistake. The day you become number 2, chances third will gang up with the 1 to bring you down. So make no mistake about it. Neither China nor US or anybody else. They are not going to sacrifice their interest for sake of yours if there is a convergence. And that convergence is right now perfect sweet spot for us, because the larger picture, which I mentioned very briefly, is that number 2 challenging number 1 very, very seriously. And whoever wins, who will win will depend upon which side number 3 goes. And that's where we are today. But they will also gang up against you someday when you become number 1. So be very careful in terms of how you deal with them today and tomorrow, because one day if you become number 1, I think we should. We certainly should, and I'm very confident we would, not necessarily in my lifetime, but certainly because of people like you. And so have that big ambition. That's what we're trying to do. We have recast our mind. We're thinking big today. See, it takes a lot to break the old mental shackles of चलता है, हम तो ऐसे ही हैं, हमारी काम बारी है, we थोड़ा सा दिमाग से बाहर निकालना. Just simply say, and I'll give you one example of it, how things changed. I can give you 10, but let me just stop at 1, and then I'll take other questions. In about 2000, the year may not be exactly 2000, it could be 1 or 2 years here there. IBM had a market capitalization. You guys understand market capitalization, am I right? Okay. So IBM had a market capitalization at that point of time of $100 billion. It was among the top 10 Fortune Fortune listed. IBM was among the number 10 companies. Okay. And then a market capitalization of $100 billion. 25 years back, $100 billion was a hell of a lot of money. Tata Consultancy Services at that point in time had a market capitalization of $500 million. Today IBM is less than $100 billion still. TCS is more than $100 billion. 20 years, everything has changed. Just 20 years. So, it's all there. When I say 20 years for us, TCS is an example. It can be done. And that's just an example that it's possible to do. And who would have ever imagined in 1982, when we used to have a choice was between ambassador and fiat, if you wanted the personal car, you chose a Fiat. If you wanted a official car or a company car, it was Investor. Life was very easy. Lambert or Bajaj, Calibrator and Voltas or whatever Elvin. That was very simple. Go में से एक choose करना है. देखो सस्ता वाला कौन सा है, pause कर लो, बात खत्म. Who would have thought in 1980 that India would, in 20 years, this year, 35-40 years, will become the world's third largest car market, which is already begun. It's not possible. It's all global. Just have to start here. कर सकते हैं. आप लोग कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल कर. I have no doubt about it. You guys can do it. Just start with this confidence feeling. It's our time. It's come. Seize it with both hands. In 20 years back, you will look back and say, "देखो कर दिया." You can tell your kids, "देखो हमने करके बता दिया." It's going to happen. That is the historical trend. Entire history. We were either number one, number two. 200 साल की तकलीफ थी बस. ये भी निकल गया क्या? तो खाली वापस all heading for good times again. Put the pressure on the accelerator. Why 20 years? Just let's do it in 15 years. Any other questions?
Sir, sir, I'm a Govt. Sir, I'm Videsh from final year mechanical engineering. Final year mechanical engineering. Sir, my question is that West considers Pakistan as a tool to contain India in Asia, sir.
Once again?
West considers Pakistan as a tool to contain India in Asia. And recently we have seen that Pakistan suffering from the flood crisis. Pakistan has been suffering from the flood crisis, right, sir?
I think from my view of here,
सर पाकिस्तान में अभी फ्लड्स तो आई थी, तो उस क्राइसिस के लिए वर्ल्ड ने सबने डोनेशन प्रॉमिस किए और जो कि बिलियंस में सर. और we know that this money will be used for war purpose, sir, against India.
You see, as I told you, I mentioned it pretty much as specifically as I can. I don't the government had, so I can just give my views on that. So West has always used Pakistan. West has used Pakistan, China has used Pakistan, and they will continue to use.
Even France, sir, which we consider as a strategic partner.
Again, that's what I told you. सब ठीक है, strategic partner. अल्फाज को छोड़ दो, अल्फाज को इस्तेमाल करने पड़ते हैं. हमारा काम है डिप्लोमेट से, ठीक है ना? But we don't start believing our words. Always. We don't cheat. We don't. At least internally, you know reality क्या है.
So what do you tell to young diplomats? आप कैसे मतलब एक कोई young diplomat को क्या बोलोगे इसके ऊपर अप्रोच?
समझा नहीं. तो हमारा करना क्या है इसके ऊपर? वेस्ट पाकिस्तान को यूज करना भी नो इट. We understand it.
साइकोलॉजिकल इम्पैक्ट करता है सर ये बात.
किस पे?
यंग डिप्लोमेट को जो भी नया आया है साउथ ब्लॉक में बैठा है.
मैं समझा नहीं. एग्जैक्टली इशू क्या है आपको? What is the question?
क्वेश्चन ये है कि जो साइकोलॉजिकल इम्पैक्ट आता है इससे कि वेस्ट पाकिस्तान को सपोर्ट कर रहा है के खिलाफ कैसे डील करते हैं?
हाँ ये तो look, please understand this thing. And there's a fundamental in understanding any international relationship, or perhaps every relationship. There has to be convergence of interests. West had convergence of interest with Pakistan because they were fighting a larger battle with Russia. And Pakistan was willing to be a tool in the hands of West. So for West, the larger battle was with the erstwhile Soviet Union. And they didn't see us on their side, number one. And very sadly but interestingly, West believed in us more than we believed in ourselves. So they understood history better. That 200 साल का जो हमारे ऊपर अमावस आई थी ना, जो ग्रहण आया था, चला जाएगा. They understood it. So they wanted to put enough shackles on us. Pakistan was one of them. We didn't believe that we would do it, but they believed that we will do it one day. And so they wanted their cronies or their puppets or whatever you want to call them, or their to keep us under check. So hence Pakistan was created. This was the reason why Pakistan was created. And this is the reason why West keeps coming back to Pakistan, notwithstanding all its bad behavior. So and they will continue to it. And until we make the price so difficult for them, and we force them to make this choice. And that will happen when your utility for them is far, far lower than Pakistan's. And that's why it's number one, number two business concept. Any other question?
Hello sir, I am Sapati from Mathematics Department. Mathematics Department. So my question is, what is your view about upcoming B20 summit, which should be held in 4 northeastern states?
4
northeastern states. Northeast states, Sikkim, Nagaland, Mizoram, and Niti.
The G20 meeting is taking place.
No, B for B20.
Huh?
B20 summit. B.
It's not clear.
B for base.
B for waste, okay.
B20 summit. It is a part of the G20 summit. So what is the significance? It is
The significance of what?
it is held in northeastern state.
So understand this thing. Northeast is very important because this is large, just part of India. It borders a number of countries, which somehow psychologically felt distant from India. Okay. What was a very tenuous geography also became a tenuous mindset. Now, this government has given very important emphasis on strengthening this linkage, not just through infrastructure and other means, but also psychological linkage between Northeast people who live in the Northeast and India, and the main part of India as it were. So doing this meeting is also the way of showing the importance that the government attaches to this area. And secondly, if we have to build our relationship with, for example, Thailand, and you want to have rail or some Northeast world. So that emphasis, government has to show this through various means. So doing some meetings is a way of showing this. A very visual way of conveying this message.
What are the opportunity we will get? What are the opportunity we will get from this type of summit?
See, as I said, some things are done purely to demonstrate the importance we attach. And some things you do which will lead to this further action. So a lot of things are happening on the ground in terms of railway infrastructure. This is a Bijo here, river ka hai, and we Ganga Vilas, which will come to these river. This is a way of showing. Ultimately, kitne log aa rahe? 36 log aa rahe. It can only take 36 people, of which only 32 are coming. So these are 32 people coming on a 3,200 kilometer long boat ride. Make any fundamental difference in life? Any guys can answer no. But symbolically, yes. That the boat ride from Varanasi begins and comes to Dibrugarh and goes back from here. So as I said, कई बार affection को दिखाना भी पड़ता है ना, खाली affection होने से तो नहीं होता है, दिखाना भी पड़ता है. This is a way of visualizing it. This is a way of conveying it to larger audience. Action तो हो रहा है, बहुत सारे action हो रहे हैं, but दिखाना ही पड़ता है ना. So this is that the visual way of showing that Northeast is a very important part of our country, and the government attaches great importance to building economies, to building linkages in Northeast. I hope I answered the question. Is understood?
Sir, I have good afternoon. Sir, I have one question. Sir, if we follow the recent politics,
Don't move the mic because आवाज है.
as we follow the recent politics, that China has taken up venture capital into Sri Lanka, taken up a port, had a port in Sri Lanka, has taken up Djibouti port, and is surrounding India by the Belt Road Initiative. Lot many is happening, which is coordinated by China, and we know they are one of our competitors. So they are one of our competitors in terms of economy, in terms of our growth, whatever. And in terms of our market, Chinese products were also there, and they are using Indian market in some mobile phones and everything. So how are we planning in the long term to counter this particular part?
So, the easiest way of losing a game, easiest way, losing any game, is to play on the other guy's stuff, or play on the other guy's strengths. China's ability to deliver infrastructure because of the policies followed, the way decision-making systems are very well geared to give large-scale projects The Chinese will come, they will set up camps, they will not engage local labor till it's really must execute and go back. That's their model. That's not our model, it can't be our model. It should not become our model. So we don't have to first of all start playing a game that other guy can play better. Why do you want to enter the game? Keep out of it. You have other games that you can play. You have other things that you can do which nobody else can do. Play those games. Play it. Be watchful of what they are doing, and now you see what has happened. There's a lot of inbuilt resistance now, increasing resistance on the BRI, whole BRI system. And if you remember, one of the very thoughtful decisions this government took, when the BRI summit took place 5 years back in Shanghai or wherever it was in China, there were about, I think if I'm not mistaken, at least 50 heads of state and government and more than 50 countries represented through ministers. Including the USA was represented but by official, not by a minister and official represented US. India was the only country that did not go. And everybody else, including our media, and I said media is what it is, they saying some very, very senior foreign service officers, very responsible, very respectable, and very bright and very nationalist. I won't even question any of those there. So I know the persons and vouch for them to say Indian. They felt that we should join it. And today the BRI is literally tottering. Everybody is coming against it. But we were the ones who did it, single-handedly. We did not go there, we made a statement here, not there. So embassy in here. Why we didn't go? Why we didn't go? And everything we said has not come to be true. So at times, as I mentioned, learn to walk alone. They want to make a program, let them make it. They come to grief, and they come to grief already. So are Djiboutians and so are the soldiers in Mombasa. The Kenyans are feeling the heat now. Others will feel the heat sooner or later, they are already feeling it. And what will happen? The whole thing will come up. So rather than taking it as a model to be number sort of China, for example, if you can do, say, 1 million container port, we'll do 100,000 container port, we'll simply say, good luck to you, and please go and do it. We'll do other things which are more relevant, which we can deliver better, which will produce better outcomes. So that's the smarts. You don't have to always change others. We do things in which we are good. So what has been our growth model? IT industry. We thought we could do it better, in part because our infrastructure was pretty bad. Even if you tried to export, we couldn't. The manufacturing was not good at that point of time. Even now it's just slowly catching up. So all the smart companies went into IT, where the government interference was not possible. Go direct to satellite. You didn't need a road. Even if there's no road, it doesn't make a difference. As long as you have telecom, everything will work. And for that, they had their own resets. So that was the smarts on the part of some of the big companies who proved those faults. Whether it was TCS, Infosys, SCA. That's how they did. Learn from that. Be smart about what. You can't change your infrastructure fundamentally in 5 or 10 years. It will take time. So play on your strength today. What is your strength? Play on it. Tomorrow, as your strengths increase, other things we'll go and fight those battles also, and we'll go and present ourselves with those credentials, but not today. And secondly, never change others. You can't win that game. It's not our business. Why should you get into competitive bidding with other countries? But then they'll keep playing one against another. Okay, China ने कोड दिया था, आप एयरपोर्ट दीजिए, China ने अभी हमको ये दे दिया था, आप ये दीजिए, अभी कब तक चलेगा ऐसा? So don't allow other countries to come and tell you China is better. Good luck getting done. Try. And see what happened to others. Look at Sri Lanka. What happened to it? What's happening to Pakistan? So be my guest if you want to become another Sri Lanka or Pakistan, by all means. Anything else? ask a question because I have to think smart because last question or because what I said made sense?
I apologize to all of you. My name is Karul Dixit and I'm a scholar of the Production Engineering Department. And I have two questions and I'll try to summarize it as my competency. My first question is that how do foreign policies deal with the international rivalries?
International?
Rivalries.
Rivalry.
Yes, sir. And second question, how do people like you who handle international issues balance their personal problems and professional problems? How they balance? You are actually responding all of us in a very patient manner. So I really appreciate. I want to know the secret.
So let me first answer the second question first. Well, I always found it was very easy to convince other diplomats, including Pakistani diplomats, but not my wife. Simple short answer to the second question. And now about, at the end of it, as I mentioned right in the beginning, all that we do, everything that we do in the foreign policy side, all the diplomacy. So diplomacy is implementation of foreign policy. Foreign policy is policy, and diplomacy is implementation too. Your diplomats are tools. You go abroad and then you dress nicely and serve drinks and look after the foreign flag and to get those policies implemented. That's how it's diplomacy and foreign policy. Now, you see the entire thrust of foreign policy. Two things that I mentioned right in the beginning. So that it's demystified, number one. Number two, all of you start participating. So what are two things? One is security trade, the second is prosperity. So we only play for these two things, security trade and prosperity. Hence it is important for all of you, because you all have vested interest in India's security and India's prosperity. So you guys need to be aware of what's happening in the world. Because not just it creates opportunities for you and for your businesses or for your careers or for your education, whatever else, but also because it's directly linked to security and prosperity of India. So we only pursue these two objectives. And these are interlinked objectives. So entire foreign policy is geared towards that. So it's all domestic policy, security and prosperity. Because we don't want anybody else's land, we don't want to go and capture this, that, so that's not the issue. And so whatever we do has actually direct bearing on what people do to your lives. And because it's a direct bearing on your lives, you guys first of all must understand it, must follow it. And if you feel that there are things that India needs to do more or less or whatever, articulate it. Because wisdom is nobody's monopoly. You can understand this thing. You're as bright as intelligent as anybody else. So the more you understand, the more you will respond. And the more you will contribute to formulation of a better policy, as also for a better implementation. So some of you might get into foreign service and start implementing it. So this is the purpose of MEA doing this exercise, to actually democratize, to make people understand that foreign policy is made for you, it's not made for us. It's not made to post diplomats abroad or open embassies abroad. It is to strengthen India's security and to accelerate India's prosperity. That's it. Only two reasons there exist. And this was of great interest to you, should be of great interest to you. So participate in it. Some of you wish to join foreign service, please do that. It's a great job. It's the finest job India can offer. So that's what it is.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very patient and very good listener. And the fact that I could keep you away for so long a time after, I'm sure you had some very good classes also. So thank you very much for being so kind, and your director and your faculty, your senior faculty members, spending a whole afternoon with me, and I'm really devoted to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was really a very interesting and feel like it should continue. So, sir, we will take another opportunity in another occasion to have such kinds of interactions once again. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, I would like to request our director, sir, to give the concluding remark, and then we'll end up the program. Be patient. Thank you.
So no concluding remarks after listening such a patient, speech and address to all of us about the foreign policy. Learned a lot, and all of you had the patience. You had interacted, and you made it beautiful. And that is what is more important, and that is what is expected. Only two things I just want to tell you. As he said, that technology determines the fate of any nation, and the fate of our nation is very bright because of all of you who takes this much of the interest in technical education. Is the first thing. And second thing, he said, never be dependent. Think about these two things. You are going to be well off, and you are going to do wonders. And that is what we are expectations. Thank you all very much, and we like to thank our former ambassador who has taken time and to be with us in this afternoon. Thank you all very much. Please give a standing ovation to our former ambassador who served this great nation. Thank you, sir. Thank you.